Talking to great players, talkSPORT understands that Real Madrid have informed Liverpool of their desire to sign Trent Alexander-Arnold. The right-back can sign a pre-contract agreement with an overseas club in January. As his contract expires in the summer, Liverpool are still hoping for him to stay. But he's one of three players alongside Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk who, as things stand, will be leaving for free at the end of the season. What an awful sentence for Liverpool fans to hear. We watched Liverpool beat Real Madrid earlier this week. I suppose if you've got a club like Real Madrid, who are without doubt one of the biggest and best teams on the planet, and let's not forget, it's in Madrid. The weather is pretty nice there most of the year. You've got to go, right, if they come calling?
Not got to go, because currently, you'd have to say after that performance the other night, Liverpool look like they're in a far better position than
one game at Anfield.
But it's Real Madrid, so that's the thing. And you look at the positions in their squad, lots of Carvajal's got a long-term injury now. Like Trent would probably slot straight in there. But I guess for Trent, it's almost head over heart situation, isn't it? Because he's a Scouser. That's his club. That's in his heart.
Steve McManaman, same.
Right, but he went on a free. And look how Liverpool fans view him.
I know, but look at what he did when he went over to Real Madrid.
Yeah, I get that. I think Trent... I'm still unsure about Trent. I think he might turn around and sign the new contract, but...
Well, why would he let it run down, though? That's the thing. Surely the reason he's let this happen
is... It's cat and mouse, isn't it? Because he's thinking, well, say he wants...
$500,000 a week.
Yes, just for
round numbers.
And they're going, well, no, you want 300. Well, he's like, okay, well, I'll leave then. I'll keep running it down to the point. He's hoping that they go, well, nah, here's the money. The only thing I'd say, I just wonder from a Liverpool standpoint and the club standpoint, looking at the performance of Conor Bradley the other night, and his performances whenever he's been asked to play for Liverpool and stepped in, he's been fantastic. I know he's
was it Southampton he had an off game? Was it Southampton? It was.
A little bit, but he's also shown moments where he's been brilliant. Right,
without a doubt.
So I remember, we're probably not seeing the best of him yet because he's not playing week in, week out. He's in for a couple, he's out. So I just wonder if they're going, do you know what? Yes, Trent is better, but if the worst comes to the worst and Trent does go, they have got somebody there that's shown that they're more than capable of stepping in.
Yeah, but it's not just the fact they're letting him go. They've got a commodity worth millions. 100 million.
What can you do?
And they're letting him go for zip. And that's terrible management behind the scenes.
It is terrible, but again, players have all the power. Not all the power, but they have a lot of power nowadays, right? Because you're almost betting on yourself. Because if you do say, I'm not signing a new contract, and you play incredibly well like these guys are doing, then of course it looks like, oh my God, what are the club doing? But on the flip side, if Trent was having a stinker, do you know what I mean? It'd be like, well, get him out.
How much of that decision, do you think could be down to the fact that he's mates with Bellingham and Bellingham's phoned him up and said, listen, you've got to come if they come knocking?
It's got nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it.
Do you know what? If Ambrose is at Real Madrid and you're at Liverpool and Ambrose phones you up and go, listen, the Lego that they're offering me out is unbelievable. You're going.
Yeah, but I'm not going to Real Madrid because Ambrose said go there.
No, but your mate's there, right?
No, but you're probably talking about the most iconic club in the planet. It doesn't need Jude Bellingham to be there to get Trent there. Do you know what I mean? So if Jude was at Juventus. No, not Juventus. Let me get Napoli.
Yeah.
Right. And he's like, listen, best friends with Trent, come. Trent would probably go, no.
No. Yeah, I know, but it adds to it.
No, but I think when it's Real Madrid, I think he's just irrelevant.
Okay.
I think it's irrelevant.
Wow. What a game. I mean, this could be an unbelievable game. I hope it's not a bore 0-0. They both park. Well, Liverpool won't park the bus. How do you see it going? Because what did Liverpool do? They don't want to lose the game, right? No. So would they be satisfied with the draw, Liverpool, at home?
No. I don't think not now they won't.
That's not in their nature, right?
No, it's not. It's completely against what they do. But then at the same time, Man City, they don't park the bus either. So I think for Liverpool, they'll know if they can win this game. I mean, they've got a 8-point gap, is it? I think 9-point gap, sorry. If they were to win this, 8-point gap.
Why is your maths so bad?
Couldn't see it. No, I couldn't see the screen.
Oh, okay.
But I just think Liverpool will think, if we beat them now, that sends a real message because I don't know how you come back from that because they're playing really well. They've got no injuries. I guess generally...
They've got a weakness.
Liverpool.
Yeah.
At the minute, the only place I'd say is not a weakness, but it's not maybe as strong as it was as left back. Like the last few weeks, you're starting to see Andy Robertson a little bit like the Southampton performance with the penalty and a few decisions he's making. Maybe that's one position you'd go. I'm not sure Tsimikas is the answer after Robertson, but it's going to be a good game. But if Liverpool were to beat City, I feel City have to win this. So a point wouldn't be the worst result in the world for Liverpool, but I think it'd be bad for City. Now I know City, we've seen it before. They can reel off win after win after win after win, but they've got big injuries. I'm not quite sure we're going to see that City this season. No Rodri, who's massive. Do you know what I mean? They've got injuries. Haaland, De Bruyne at the minute's not the De Bruyne that we know as well. But I just think Liverpool will start so fast at the weekend and try and put that game to bed. But I mean, it'd be a fantastic game of football.
We have seen Pep tinker with many sides. Sometimes when he didn't even need to tinker with it. We saw it in, of course.
But I almost feel like that was a thing of the past now.
Oh, well, I was going to ask you, do you expect him to do anything different?
No, because you're right. There was always a moment where he'd do something, and you go, Pep, why have you done that? Like, he left key players on the bench for what reason?
Yeah.
I genuinely think now he's going to go no. He'll know exactly what his side's got to do, and they're almost on the back foot, and he'll understand that. So rather than trying and waiting for Liverpool to beat them, Pep's going to go, do you know what, I trust my players, because don't get me wrong, by the way, I know they've lost 6 on the bounce. They are still a phenomenal side.
Or without a win in 6.
Without a win, sorry, I apologise. Without a win in 6. They've still got players that in any instance can fire again. So it's going to be a great game, but I can't see, for whatever reason, Liverpool getting beat at Anfield or letting Manchester City rock up there and giving them a foothold back into the title race.
Last time out for Man City, of course, they had a 3-0 lead in the Champions League, threw it away, only took a point from that game. What, as a player, on the back of losing so many games, and you come out of that game having not won it, mentally, how does that affect the players? Thinking, we haven't won another game.
Yeah, but just you're almost trying to figure out, and I said it before, and people were like, what do you mean? But I almost feel the 4-0 against Tottenham, you go, right, we got smashed. We conceded this goal, this is why we conceded it, we weren't at the races, and this is why we got punished. So you almost could draw a line under it and go, right, that won't happen again. When you go 3 up so comfortably, and then you let the other team come back up, and not only let them come back into it, it's the manner in the goals they concede where things are happening where it shouldn't happen. Like the second goal where it somehow squirms between Ederson and the post, stays in, they tap it in. And even the last one where Ederson makes a rash decision, comes sprinting out of his goal, you almost start thinking, well, hold on a second there. We need to do something about this. We need to kind of settle it down. It wouldn't surprise me if the Manchester City players and the manager had a meeting, but behind closed doors, like, listen, what's going on? What are the issues? Because that 3-3 can leave a longer lasting effect than the 4-0.
Man City have got some brilliant players. We'll talk about Erling Haaland in just a moment. Phil Foden's one of them. I'm a big fan of his. He always starts every game for Man City and for England, for my money. A huge fan.
Not for England anymore. But,
okay, well, that's debatable. For me, does. But anyway.
Instead of who?
We'll get to that in a minute, right?
Instead of your boy, Cole Palmer.
Okay, maybe he's on the bench.
There you go.
But he's in that conversation, right?
Yeah,
but for Man City, in fact, for this season, it's just not... Sorry, food went by and Ben's attention went, right? We'll get you that Cornish pasty in a minute. But it's not really worked for him. It's not happened this season. But why is that? Because the whole team aren't playing well, so it becomes more difficult?
Well, I think sometimes that's an excuse. I think and we've seen it before, when teams are not playing well, certain individuals will raise their levels and go, do you know what? I'm going to show you. Cole Palmer's a prime example of that. Last season, Chelsea, a little bit of a mess, a little bit chaotic. Yeah. He was the one who went, I'm not letting my standards slip. And look how good he was. And the fact that Phil Foden was a PFA Player of the Year was fantastic. I know he's had the injuries as well, but we just haven't seen that Phil Foden for England or for Manchester City yet. Now, I guess that you could take it as a positive that he's a top quality player. He is top class. He will come good. But for whatever reason, they've got so many different players that we know how good they are, just are not at the levels. And weird ones, Erling Haaland, because if you look at his numbers, you'd go, oh my goodness, is he necessarily playing well? I don't think so. I think he's scoring the goals and he's obviously a goal scorer supreme. You give him chances, he'll score. But in terms of his actual all-round performance, is he as good as we've seen in previous?
See, he's a great goal scorer. We've had this conversation, you and I, before. We've likened him to players like Thierry Henry, and the big difference between the two. Yeah. No, the big difference between is Thierry Henry can pick the ball up round about the halfway line, run with it, go round. But I don't see that in Erling Haaland. Do you think that's a part of his game maybe he needs to improve? Or does he not have to?
I don't think he has to, because his numbers would suggest not. But what he relies on, and most centre-forwards, myself was included, you need service. If you don't get service, you're never going to score. Now, you look at when De Bruyne is fit and healthy and playing well, De Bruyne doesn't even look. He gets the ball to his feet and just goes, whether it be in behind or across, and Erling Haaland's on his toes as he goes. When you take someone's supply line away from them and you're looking for other players, they've all got fantastic players, but like Gundogan wouldn't see that pass, or Savino's just got there. Yep. Kovacic, that's not his game. He's not going to see those passes. You do struggle. So for Erling Haaland in his own mind, he's thinking, do you know what? If I get 1 or 2 chances, I have to take them, because I don't know when the next chance is coming. But they've got big problems, but not problems they can't sort out, because we've seen them sort it out before.
8 points the gap at the moment. If Liverpool win, it becomes 11. Is that it? If City don't win the game, if City lose the game, is that the end of the Premier League for them this season?
I'm not saying that's it, but I think it would be incredibly difficult for them to be able to catch up with Liverpool with those run of games. You have to start looking at the teams like Chelsea and Arsenal, Brighton if they win, obviously, tonight, to try and hunt Liverpool down, because Manchester City then, that's a lot of points to make up.
Yeah. Give me the key players for both sides. Mohamed Salah, I'm guessing. I mean, he's been on fire this season.
Do you know what? He has, but I think the key battle one is the one I'm looking forward to most, Van Dijk versus Haaland.
Okay, yeah.
Van Dijk
could be immense,
and
right?
every single time they play against each other, Van Dijk doesn't give him anything. So that's the one battle, I think. If Haaland turns up, scores a couple of goals, and you go fair play. But I think Virgil will be looking at Haaland going, okay, let's see what you got up against me. That's the key battle. Of course, Salah. We know how good Salah is. He's him doing his bits and bobs. But
Spotlight on Kyle Walker then down that left-hand side. His pace is...
Right.
He plays on the right, doesn't he? But for Mohamed Salah, who sometimes steps up in big games, sometimes doesn't. We've talked about this before.
More than not, but yeah.
More than not. Is their attack always about him, do you think?
Well, it's always him and two others. And that must be a lovely position to be in as a manager. That when you're scratching around thinking, right, what's the best combination with a front three? Well, it's not really, because you've got what he will play. If he's fit, he'll play every single week. So it's just finding the balance of the other two. And that makes it pretty much, like, not easy, but easier, because, you've got one guy that's durable, will play week in, week out, that scores 25, 30 goals every season. It's just about the combination of the other two.
Go on, give me a prediction for the game.
3-1 Liverpool.
Wow, you think it'll be an absolute pace?
Yeah, 3-1 Liverpool.
And then the end of the title, right?
I'm not saying the end.
I think it is. I think if Liverpool win, 11 points
I'll let
is
you
too
say
much.
that. I ain't saying that.
Why won't you say it? What are you scared of?
No, because I don't think it is.
Okay. Oh, you still think Arsenal can win it? Of course you do.
Yeah, of course I do.
Do you actually think Arsenal...
Can you win it from 12?
Sometimes it's difficult with you. Do you actually think Arsenal can still win the Prem?
Yeah, there's no reason why they can't.
Well, there is loads of reasons.
There's not.
What's the gap there? Scroll down.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.